Hey, guess what? I'm not vaccinated. Don't tell your friends, all right? Hey, I'm in VR. Fuck you. It doesn't matter, right? Cool. All right, cool. I don't leave my house.
Right.
I never leave. All right, cool. You guys ready for your next comic or what? Let me hear you.
Yeah, let's do it.
There we go.
Yeah? She's a female. Are you guys excited? She's a female?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
Hell
yeah.
yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Victoria Banner.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Oh, this is good. Wow. What do I want to address first for weird intros? The fact we're asking people one at a time their opinions as to whether they're vaccinated or not, or the fact that Kyle said that I was a female like 4 times. I think we're going to just do reverse order like that. And just know that the last time I did this show, Kyle was like, your next comic is a female. And that made me laugh a lot because it's like the neck-beardiest thing in the universe to say. So I ran on stage being like, female! So now to you, a strange audience who's never seen this before, he did what is called an inside joke, which is the opposite of stand-up comedy, which is where I try and relate to you, the audience. And one of the ways that I relate to you, the audience, is not asking you one at a time if you're vaccinated. Do you have AIDS? What's the worst thing your father ever did to you? That's all very good things that make comedy shows just great and tons of fun for everybody. Oh, man. I love VR. I love being in VR. It's great. It's the only comedy show where if I fart a little, no one knows. If I fart too much, you will know. But if I fart just a little, you will not know. I have so many objects in my playing area right now. I just my playing area is just coated in objects. Is the only way to describe this. At any point, I could just go ass over tea kettle in the middle of this comedy set and get critically injured, and you guys would just have to watch. No one can help, and I could be screaming like, my leg is broken. Please, lady with the red hair, help me! And you could do nothing. And so, but no, I actually did draw a boundary with a lot of objects in it because I was in a rush and my boyfriend, he got a PlayStation 5. You have to use Twitter. That's the secret. You got to have a network of Twitter friends that tell you where to go. But he's in the other room and he's playing Call of Duty on headset because it's the weekend, right? And I am a comedian. I do have impressions. Here's an impression of my boyfriend playing Call of Duty on headset. This is my boyfriend playing Call of Duty on headset. Downed him! Downed him! Downed him! That guy's bunny hopping! Alright, here's my impression of me on a very important Zoom meeting with my boss at my normal day job, and me asking my boyfriend, please can you just be quiet for 20 minutes? I'm on a Zoom meeting with my boss. Here's that impression. Down. Down. I said down him! No, Steven, I said down him! That's my impressions. That's my impressions. But so now I'm in the closet because he's on the Call of Duty, and so I have objects in my playing area. So I kind of drew a boundary with all these objects with the same emotional integrity of when I was in university, and I went home with a guy, like a sketchy guy from the bar, and I'm like drawing the boundary with the same emotional intensity when you realize you don't have a condom, and you're like, I'm drawing the boundary, and you're like, oh fuck, I don't have a condom, but this guy's really hot, and I really need to get this VR show done, so I guess I'm just gonna give this microphone the old sniff test. Yeah, it's good. I'm not gonna. The objects in my play area are fine. Nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen at all. There's been a lot of Animal Crossing jokes. Don't worry, I also have Animal Crossing jokes. You don't get to hear about any other video game. Only Animal Crossing. It's the funniest game. But I played so much Animal Crossing this pandemic. I love Animal Crossing, and I don't know why, because I actually spent $30,000 to go to graphic design school. I am fully capable of drawing my own perfect architecture in perspective. Any furniture I can imagine, I can put that there. I can draw literally anything on a piece of paper. I can get paid to draw things on a piece of paper. I can get paid design my own little house, but I would rather pay a mortgage to a raccoon and lose $200 an hour just for the privilege of having a tiger that wants to be a pop star just fucking insult me. I'm like, thank you. I like that you say you're my friend, but then also you're not my friend. So sounds like I have a self-esteem issue. Maybe I have a self-esteem issue. Who knows if I have a self-esteem issue or not? But one of the things that I've noticed in VR, especially, is it's very hard to want to submit completely to VR and be like, I'm in real VR world. Like after last Friday, I went to VR Burning Man, and it was great because I was like VR Burning Man, and then all of a sudden my brain was like, no. And the problem is because I want it so I love Pretend so much. Like Pretend is my absolute favorite, and I think it's that I love it too much, and I don't want to be in VR. I don't want to be in VR, and I don't want to see a pirate, and I don't want to go up to a pirate in VR and be like, yo, where's the treasure, me matey? And he's like, yo, we're going to walk the plank. And I'm like, we're going to have a pirate adventure. And he's like, I'm a plumber, and you're a moron. It's too trusting. It's too trusting. At any point, someone could break the illusion, and then I'm just in there like, I don't want that. Used to work at I'm from Canada, so we had a thing called EB Games, which was just the Canadian version of GameStop. And I don't know why EB Games and GameStop, why they didn't think that us as Canadians couldn't stop for games. We were just more like, well, we could do EB Games or something like that, I guess. But I used to, so when I say EB Games, just in your head, do the conversion. The conversion is GameStop. Sorry, I popped up my mic volume and it's just stuck, and now I can see my own levels of my voice. I can watch myself clip in real time. So yeah, I used to work at GameStop, and it's super funny because Kyle was saying that they scientifically proved that blowing into a cartridge does nothing. That was like a fact, saying like, oh, yeah, you blow in a cartridge, it does nothing. And I feel like a video game cartridge in a sanitary lab environment does not factor for the scientific reality of gamer dust. Gamer dust is a real thing, because we used to take trades in at EB Games / GameStop, and someone would come in with like the pile of trades, and you'd always think you'd seen the maximum of gamer dust, right? You'd be like, oh, that's a good amount of gamer dust. Maybe this person has a cat. Maybe this person smokes. Then someone would come in with just like stack of trades like this big, and they would just be like welded together with some kind of strange sludge. You'd be like, why? And you'd be chipping apart the games, and you'd be chipping apart, and the returns, like, you'd only get like $3 for the trade-ins, and you'd like be prying it out, and it would just be like goo, and then you'd be like, I think this is $3, and they're like, are you sure? And you're like, yeah, I'm sure. And they're like, it's pretty good quality. I'm like, I believe that you believe this is a good quality game. Oh man, I have to leave you. So I have to leave you on a joke, but I don't know which joke I want to leave. Oh, I know exactly which joke I want to leave you on. I used to live in Vancouver, Canada. So I had a bunch of wacky roommates, like wacky. The housing market is completely fucked roommates. I lived with 5 guys, and one of them was actually a game designer for Capcom, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, isn't that pretty cool? And the funny thing is that game designers, like, because everything's broken down in video games. You've got the artists, you've got the programmers. To be a game designer, you don't have to possess any programming knowledge whatsoever. The game designer is the person who makes the game fun. Like, that's their literal title. And so game designer is the person that gets a big fancy office at Capcom and then uses their imagination to like build the economies in games. And so the game designer is the person who's like, wouldn't it be fun if we could actually just eat the food in here as opposed to just our hands going through it? Like, that's game designer's job. So my roommate was this total Burning Man wackadoo. He was an adult man that just had too much imagination, like way too much imagination. And so we would try and solve roommate problems that just involved like yelling at each other with fun games. And so, like, the dishes would pile up, and you'd be like, "Hey, let's just do the dishes." And he's like, "All right, we're secret agents, and we have to do." And I don't want to do secret agent dishes, Chris. I just want to do regular dishes. But he was very conceptual. Like, we had a house party one time, and like he walked through the door and he was like handing out people like coasters and everything like that. I'm like, "Why are you handing people coasters?" And then halfway through, he's like, "All of your coasters match, and if you find the person who has your matching coasters, I'll give you a free bottle of alcohol, and then you can make out." I was like, "Whoa! You just game designed this house party. That's fascinating." But he was also a little bit too meta. It was definitely a problem. Because one night after a comedy show, I brought a gentleman caller home. We were doing the act that you do with a gentleman caller, and I had a pretty open door policy in my 5 roommate house, and so I was in the middle of doing the act with my gentleman caller, and my roommate just like kicks open the door, like, "I have a fantastic imagination idea." And I was like, "No, dude and a dude, no." And so I closed the door, and then I had to calm the guy down. I had to calm my friend down, and we got everything back and running, and we got back into the groove, me and my gentleman friend, and then my game design roommate kicks open the door again, fully knowing that I had a guy in there, fully knowing that we were both buck naked doing it. And I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And he looks at me and he goes, "I just wanted to be in your comedy act." Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Victoria Banner. Everybody's roommate, right? Everyone's lived with Victoria Banner before. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. How do you guys feel, man? You guys doing good out there? Let me hear you. What's going on?
Hey.
Yeah? Hey, what's up? How your dogs doing? Who's got dogs out there? Any dogs in the audience? Got some doggos? Got some doges? Isn't that fucking weird, man? How do you think the dogs feel right now when you're in a VR headset? Like, motherfucker, I am right here. I gotta take a piss. Right? I was hanging out with my buddy Jason the other day playing some Beat Saber, and all of a sudden I just see his lightsabers go down and they stop. And I'm like, "Yo, Jason, are you there?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm here." And I was like, "Why aren't you playing?" He's like, "I'm looking at my dog humping my router." And I was like, "Are you lagging?" He's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Don't